do you want to be in a group with me if we have like group projects in class?
Yes.
Oh, do you want to be in a group? And I'm like, oh, really? You're talking to me? Something I was not expecting, like PhD or whatever I decide to do. I want to go back home and implement that, to my community.
How else are you keeping up with, are you keeping yourself connected? What's the other things that you say are keeping you attached to where you come from? Hello and welcome to the Global Voices Unplugged, your number one all international student podcast show. This is where we talk about all things international student. We talk student lifestyle, student opportunities, student enjoyment, everything that comes with being an international student. And joining me in studio today, I have my fellow South African, looking back, obvious, Las Puma Corner, where we come from. I have Abigail Tariro Mashingaite. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Dumelang.
Wait, but your name it doesn't sound so South African.
It's not South African. I'm born in Zimbabwe. I didn't really grow up in Zimbabwe, but I left Zimbabwe when I was like, in 2009.
All right.
I was like 4 or 5, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I lived most of my life in South Africa. So I think that's why I would say I am South African in terms of just being there for such a long time.
In terms of just growing up in South Africa.
Yeah, I've also adapted the culture.
Okay.
I would say I also speak the languages. So
you also do the pianos.
Yeah. Go. Yeah.
All right. So tell us more about yourself. We know that, okay, you grew up in SA, but Pumapi, where in South Africa? How has life been growing up in South Africa? How has everything been?
So, growing up in South Africa, I grew up basically in Mpumalanga, Leidenburg. That's where I grew up. I went to this
in
private, in Mpumalanga. So I went to this private school. It was basically a white school. There were just a few black people there. So it was interesting.
It was rich kids vibes.
Yeah, it was rich kids vibes.
So you always wanted to be around white people.
Not really. My mom actually suggested that I go.
When you were here in the US, so it looks like you always wanted to be around white people.
Not necessarily, but it's just the fact that my mom was just traveling, and then she saw how amazing the school was.
Okay.
In terms of like the technology, the resources and everything. She was like, okay, this is good. This is something that I would want for my child, So I would not necessarily say that I am obsessed with just being around white people, but it's just something that, I've always done.
Obviously, you weren't going to agree. I mean, you're being interviewed. You're damn
No, but
there's no way you were going to say yes. Right.
Anyway,
okay.
Yeah.
So, how's the move? Like, okay, you grew up in SA and then now you're in the US. How's US? Why US? Why did you come to America?
So when it comes to America, I've never been a big fan of America. Like I've always known that I wanted to study abroad for college,
okay.
But it was never America. I've always basically pictured myself in the UK. But never,
British accent?
Yeah.
What? Oh, damn.
I mean, it's crazy because I had this class last semester, and a classmate of mine was like, did you live in Europe by any chance? Because you have sort of like a British accent. I was like, no, I don't, but I just watched a lot of British cartoons, like a lot of the channels I used to watch when I was a kid, they were like all British broadcasting channels.
Oh,
so I think that's how I developed the accent, but I've always wanted to go to the UK. I've always liked it. I've liked the architecture and everything. It just seems so amazing. Also, I'm crazy obsessed with the British accent. Anyone who knows me knows that I love the British accent.
Oh my goodness.
I love it. But yeah, I decided to come to America because of the opportunities, basically, yeah, it's a lot different than in the UK. There are a lot more opportunities here in America. Also, I have family here, so I figured it would be easier. I mean, my parents figured it would be easier for me to just come.
When you didn't figure it out, you're like your mama's baby. Mama's gonna make everything work.
I wanted to go to the UK, but I guess, God had different plans. I had applied to the UK and I had got in actually to Teesside University, my dream university in Middlesbrough. Obsessed, but God had other plans, and I was like, no, you are supposed to be in America, so go do your thing in America.
Are you still gonna go to the UK, or are you planning to move to the UK after everything?
Yes, I'm definitely planning. I'm definitely planning on going to the UK. I'm not sure when, but it's still in my plans to live in the UK.
And so now, how's life in America? Okay, it was unplanned, but now you're here. How is it there? How's that been?
Not as bad as I was expecting it to be, because watching movies and stuff on TV shows on TV, it's like not what you really expect. Because when you're watching stuff on TV, it's like there's this everyone in America is all happy and peppy and joyful. They're all like a community and stuff like that. I mean, watching certain shows on TV, it's always like, so you're a new foreign exchange student, you get there and everybody's like, the new girl, everyone's starting to get to know her, but it's completely different here. It's just like, mind your own business, Also, one thing I was really afraid of coming to the US since 2020, the whole George Floyd thing. That's something I was really afraid of, coming into contact with, because I don't like, I don't like confrontation. So just thinking about coming to America and having to face racism, having to face discrimination and all that it's something that I was very afraid of doing. But once I came here, it's not as bad as I expected it to be. I mean, a lot of the white people here are so nice, they're very friendly, a lot friendlier than I am, which is crazy because I'm very shy. And sometimes white people will just come to me and be like, oh, hi, I'm Sophie, and do you want to be in a group with me if we have group projects in class? Like, oh, do you want to be in a group? And I'm like, oh, really? You're talking to me? Something I was not expecting, because of all of the bad reviews I've had.
So you'd say social media kind of affected your narrative, like what we see on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, IG, kind of affected you, yeah?
Exactly, because I definitely was not expecting that. Because even some of the shows I watched, there's this show I watched, it's called The Hate You Give.
Okay.
Yeah, it's basically about a black girl who lives in the hood but also goes to a private white school.
Right.
And also has
just like you did.
Yeah, but she has a white boyfriend, and it's like the white girls are jealous, and they're always staring at her. They have this hatred towards her, and it's very hard for her to just be herself because she's just surrounded by white people, and just being herself makes her seem like a criminal, makes her seem hood, which is bad,
So social media kind of affected everything.
Yeah.
For sure. And how's life been? Social life experience, how's that?
Well, I'm not a very social person, I would say. I mean, I barely even go up with some of my friends from back home, because I have a few friends here from Zim and from South Africa, but I barely go out with them too because I'm just a homebody, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
I am an introverted extrovert, I guess.
Wait, what's that?
There are certain days where I do feel like going out, and then other days where I'm just like, no, I'm gonna sit inside and binge watch Netflix all day or something. So I think I would say an introverted extrovert.
Sounds complicated.
It sounds complicated. It's not really that complicated. It just means sometimes I want to go out, and other days I just want to be left alone.
Okay. So what are you studying? Ufunda?
So I am studying nutrition science. Yeah.
So you're studying about food.
Yeah, you see, that's the thing. Whenever someone hears me say nutrition science, I think it's just about food.
Wait, nutrition science? It is though, because there's nutrition.
Yeah,
nutrition. It's food, right?
Yeah, it is about food, but every time someone asks me, oh, what program are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I'm studying nutrition and dietetics. I'm studying nutrition science. They'll be like, oh, so you're studying how to cook? No, That's not what it is. Nutrition science is basically learning about the nutrients, the phytonutrients, all of that good stuff in food that gives your body power, that gives your body the ability to function and all that. You know the saying, an apple a day keeps the doctor away? There's certain nutrients in the apple,
that help you keep the doctor away.
Exactly.
So, is that what you always wanted to study, or that's just because you're in America and you kind of, picked it up?
It's actually what I've always wanted to study. I developed a passion for it in 2021. Yeah, I was in 11th grade. I was 17. Yeah, I developed an eating disorder, and after visiting the nutrition's office, that's where I kind of developed my love for food and like learning how to make unhealthy foods healthy, or learning how to make healthy foods taste good, because people say like, oh, healthy food tastes bad.
I'm a patana.
Yeah, like broccoli, people are like, oh, broccoli doesn't taste good, but like
Hey, you even say broccoli. It's broccoli.
Broccoli.
It's broccoli. She says broccoli. What? The broccoli.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I don't know. So it's like I developed a knack for trying to make people enjoy enjoy broccoli, enjoy
thinly sliced carrots,
eating healthy
sliced.
Because most people are like, healthy food sucks, which is why they don't take care of their health that much, because they're like, healthy food, it takes so much time to make, it's expensive and stuff. So I kind of developed a passion for wanting to make it easier for for people to just eat healthy, to make it more fun.
All right. And now let's talk more about your vision. Like you being in America, do you plan to move back to South Africa because I know for a fact that there's no place like South Africa. That's
no place
for sure.
like home, yeah.
So do you have a vision of going back there to settle down, or you just gonna be that rich relative, who lives abroad? You wafunde Melika, she then went to the UK. Are you gonna be able to maintain that narrative, or are you just planning to build yourself, be you, and then go back home?
No, obviously I would definitely want to go back home. It's crazy because when I was back home, I was like, once I go to America, I'm not coming back. But I don't know, something changed when I was here. I realized that the passion that I have, the gifts that I have, I want to give them back to Africa. I want to give them back to my home country. Exactly. Yeah, so I don't just want to be here and then just develop this whole become a dietitian, open my own nutrition clinic here in America, where there's hundreds of them.
All right.
This is it's a developed country, and I don't just want to.
You can't develop the developed.
Exactly. I feel like after graduating, after getting my PhD or whatever I decide to do, I want to go back home and implement that to my community, and not just in my community, but a lot of different places in Africa,
So that brings me to my question. How about them? We all talking South Africa, but originally you're Zimbabwean. So it brings me to my question. What about them?
Oh, definitely. When I say I want to go back home, I'm going back home to Zimbabwe.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
I'm going to go live in Zimbabwe, yeah. I might be traveling, back and forth, to South Africa and all that, but home is definitely going to be in Zimbabwe.
In the streets of Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
All right. So, what do you miss the most about South Africa? I hear that you grew up in South Africa. What's the biggest thing? I know I miss everything about back home, but what's one thing that you miss the most? Something that's on your heart that you wake up every day and be like, yo, my friend, I wish I was home.
I guess I would say is the community.
Okay.
Because everyone here is sort of like mind my own business. That's the
Alright.
that's the vibe here. Is like mind my own business. I
There's
mean,
no marquee.
exactly.
It's
I mean,
it's
so I mean, there's actually a lot of stuff I miss about back home, but like I think I would mainly say it's the community because you just wake up and your next door neighbor's like screaming from across the street and they're like,
Yeah.
"Hi, good morning," you know. It's just something. Yeah, it's something that I missed so much. Also, the food. Oh my goodness. When you said what's one thing that you missed, the thing that immediately popped into my mind was the kota, the bunny chow.
Dietitian
Oh
eat
my-
ikota.
I
How does a
think-
dietitian eat ikota?
You know, when people hear dietitian, they think all we eat is salads. I'm not a rabbit, guys. I mean, come on. It's just
Dietitian ikota.
we just know how to portion size.
You eat bomfushwa. You know, in Zim, there's like bomfushwa.
I love- oh my goodness.
Bogushe. Bodere. You know, stuff like that.
I mean, yeah, I really, really miss it because even here in America, I've never seen the kind of bread that we used to make ikota.
Well, there's no fagumo
No,
here.
there's no. It's nyobo. Neshona hakuna
No, you
nyobo.
sound like we are still Hey.
Hakuna nyobo.
There's no fagumo here. You know, I remember this one time I went to, is it Safeway? I went to Safeway, but the bread side, I'm like, you know what? From Zenzeli Kota. I also wanted to make my own, like from Zenzeli Kota, you know. There's no fagumo here.
Ipalon.
There's no acha. Acha. Aguna acha. Where are the acha? We mix it
I mean,
acha.
there's
Like,
like
there's no acha. Fagumoya. Of course, you're gonna find abu rashidi, you know, stuff like that, but cheese. And then like the brands are totally different. But okay, speaking of the brands,
There's like millions and millions of brands here in America. Because back home, you would know, I think it's just four. There's Sunbake, there's Albany, there's Blue Ribbon. I think that's it.
yeah,
That's all.
No, I mean that's it. And then the rest,
It's
And the
just
carpet.
exactly.
Bush Pagrich, you know, you used to have those kind of breads.
I mean, when I got here and I was like, so many options of like bread. How do I know which one? There's like a whole aisle of different brands of bread. I'm like, yo.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. You know, life in America has it been fun for you though?
Honestly, yeah, it has been fun. I feel like moving here has kind of made me more outgoing. I mean, I know I said I'm an introvert, but like I'm more outgoing than I ever was
Right.
back home because there's a lot of stuff you can do here, and it's also I'm kind of
I wasn't gonna ask about affording. I mean, she went to a private school. I wasn't gonna ask, obviously.
well, that's a story for another
I
time.
wasn't
But
gonna
we recently went to LA. I went to San Francisco for my birthday last year.
Nice.
You know,
Mama, Bay Bridge.
exactly.
Nice.
You know,
You know, those are places we used to see Emma movie, and
yeah, it's
you'd never expect yourself
yourself to be there, which
on the Bay
is
Bridge.
which is insane. Because I was texting my friend on my birthday, and she was like, "Wait, where are you right now?" And I was like, "No, I'm in San Francisco. We're just doing this." It's like, "Wait, you're in San Francisco?
And then-
Girl, you're not." She was like, "Tanya, you know, we used to watch these like movies, like Beverly Hills." I recently posted like
Yeah.
we went to LA. We took some pictures of like the Beverly Hills side.
Oh yeah.
Beverly Hills. He starts asking me, "Did you see Barbie? Who did you see?" I was like, "Oh my goodness."
And then have you met any celebrities like so far? Like speaking of Abu Barbie,
No.
or you just hunt for them as much as are they? You know, I know that like when you are not in America, you think okay, it's easy.
You just
can
run
pop up
into-
this- in LA, Sazi, maybe meet.
Dwayne Johnson in LA. No, it's not that easy. They don't just walk the streets like normal human beings.
They're always, you know, doing their stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
And now, let's talk the music because I know I still don't have a playlist that's kind of American. I still listen to Scorpion Kings. I'm a piano.
Yeah.
I'm still I'm a piano fan. Boom. I still do that. I still do your, original South African music. I don't know if it's just me who is, so fixed to my taste of music. Or maybe I can listen to, my lyrics to Slung in a way. I don't know, but how are you transitioning in music? I know like the celebrities like Bobo, Rihanna, Rick Ross, all those people who sing and stuff. Do you have any local music that you kind of blend in with?
Okay, so I would say I've always listened to American artists for a very long time, ever since I was younger. Brandy, Monica, Jay-Z, Jason Derulo, Beyonce. I've always listened to them ever since I was, younger.
Yeah.
But I prefer basically my home, my cultural music. I prefer that. I mean, I listen to that mostly more than I do to American artists or English artists. I mean, I do really love a lot of the American artists that I listen to, but I'm always gonna be an Amapiano girl at heart. I'm always gonna love my home country's music. I mean, even like my Zimbabwean music, I absolutely love. I actually recently developed a love for listening to my Zimbabwean music because I never grew up in Zim, so I never really.
Zimbabwean music like Boneria.
No, I mean all of them Tukuds, yes, I love. I mean, it's crazy because a lot of people, when they hear me singing certain songs, they're like, "At your age, you know about this song?" I mean, because recently, you were surprised the other day when I was singing. What's the song I was singing? Oh yeah.
I know that song. We used to hear it from Abu Maheguru.
Yeah.
And then playing it. And I was like, wait, but this song is way old.
This is way old, so how do you know that? So I recently developed a love for my home country music, and specifically like Holy Ten, Kilati, and Baga recently.
Okay.
I mean, I never used to listen to them because I never knew about them because I lived in South Africa. It was just Amapiano all the way,
Scorpion King,
DJ Maphorisa all the way.
It's Tatan. He has graduated from being called DJ Maphorisa.
Okay.
He's now Tatan. He's the godfather. He's now Tatan Maphorisa. He's a father now.
So yeah, I think so. As soon as I just learned about it, I was like completely in love. I fell in love with the music. So.
Alright. So, is it the music? Because I know that it's not easy to find food from where you come from here. So how are you keeping up with your African self besides the music? Besides you listening to music that you always listen to, how else are you keeping up with? Are you keeping yourself connected? What's the other things that you say are keeping you attached to where you come from?
Okay, so food here, I was not expecting for it to be this easy to find food from back home here.
Okay.
I've always took sadza for granted when I was younger, and now I understand that, yeah, ipap. So I was not expecting to find the maize meal here. I was not expecting to find it here, but then it actually is here. And also the veggies that we use.
Yeah. With spinach.
Yeah, and the kale. You find it here. You find it in supermarkets and Safeway, 99 Ranch Market. You can find it. So I think that's also another way that I stay connected, is trying to regularly make my home. My home cultural food, all that type of stuff. I mean, there are days where I'm feeling spontaneous and I want to make some chicken Alfredo or some salmon or lasagna,
lasagna.
but most times I really do love making my regular, sadza nimrio, yeah.
All right. And now, one thing that we also want to talk about is, umjolo, the dating. Firstly,
okay.
Is it how we see it on the movies, like you say, if you're watching the movies and then you're an exchange student, and then, when you show up, I mean, you said it yourself, would people want to get to know you because there's this foreign exchange student, they want to talk to you and everything. Is it like that also with the guys? You know how the TVs and the movies portray it when you're walking around, and then people just kind of walk up to you, or in the mall, you see there's these kind of reels where you'd see, and then the guy just kind of walks up to a random girl and then just talks to them, and then oh yeah, I think you're cute. Have you ever experienced that before?
No, I have not, because like I mentioned before, everybody here is sort of mind my own business. That's the type of vibe that everybody here has. I've never experienced that. Someone walking up to me and "Oh, hi, you're cute. I want to get to know you." No, I have not experienced.
Are you saying you're not pimpering up yourself up to that standard
No.
where you could, or maybe ama jeans like cannot grab, you know. Are you saying you're failing? Are you saying you're not so good at the game?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Or it's just...
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, I mean, here you can literally dress to impress, but people won't pay attention because that's not what they care about. I mean, even in school, people literally come dressed in their pajamas. And you're there dressed to kill. You know, you're dressed in a way that back home, everyone would be approaching you. Yeah. You know, you're dressed to kill. You're like, oh my goodness, I'm looking gorgeous. Everybody's gonna like want to come talk to me. But no, it's just regular.
So does that mean you're single? For my other friends and everybody else.
No.
Are you in the market?
I am not on the market.
All right.
I am not on the market. I am not single. Yeah.
Are you seeing a British? Because you said you're crazy with the British accent and everything. Are you seeing umlungu?
No.
We said umlungu. We said I'm a Khalad. You know I'm a Khalad. You know where we come from? I'm a Khalad. Are you gonna bring Khalads? Abu Trevor, no.
No, not Abu Trevor, no. I mean, I am crazy obsessed with the British accent, but no, I am not in a relationship with a British man. Surprisingly, I thought I would be when I came here. I thought I would be like with a white guy.
You thought we were Baba?
I mean, no, yes, obviously, but I was not expecting myself to not really be attracted to them when I actually came here.
Mm-hmm.
You know. I am in a relationship with a Zimbabwean man.
Oh.
So.
But what is it? What is it? So I've spoken to a lot of people, a lot of international students, and people from other countries. Everybody is kind of sticked with the people of where they come from.
I guess it's a sense of just being.
Why?
It's just being comfortable.
No, I mean, you grow up with these. Like, no shade. I'm throwing no shade to my fellow African guys before we do everything. I just want to find out. You grow up in SA, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have so many people. Namazulu, Nalabatswana, Bavenda, Bapedi, Buma. We have, Amakosa, Namaswati. All those people. Lemaburu, the white. We have South Africans, and then we have Zimbabwean guys. You grow up in that space, and then you still want to be in that same space.
That's the thing with me.
Why no change?
Well,
multiracial. I mean, you went to a multiracial school. Mm-hmm. Why not a multiracial relationship? Like, first of all, everybody's been saying that. Why?
I don't know. Okay, first of all, I never got along with any of the white guys, just any of the white people in my middle school. Just generally because of how they are. The racism they got is just like too much, and I'm not one for confrontation, like I mentioned before. So I remember always getting into arguments with them about their discrimination, about how they always saw themselves as better and how they saw us as less than just because of the color of my skin. I was not a fan of that. Mm-hmm. So I don't think I would say I even ever associated myself with them that much. And even with some of the Shona guys, I never really associated myself with them unless I was like at church or something. Because even at school, we barely had any of like my fellow Shona guys. It was just either South African, Indian, or white. And that was it. So
but I still don't get why people are not changing their options. I mean, there's so many people. You can change into anything.
Well, that's the thing. I honestly was open to, exploring.
Oh, she's open.
Wait, I said I was.
She's open.
I said I was.
Send your DMs.
I was open to exploring different cultures, the little vanilla, caramel, you know what I'm saying there. But I was not expecting to, I was not expecting Kupenyerwa named Zimbabwe. It's just something that happened.
Okay, all right. So
yeah.
Okay, so now one more thing that I want to know as we wrap up is how has being identified as an international student shaped the way you look at yourself, regardless the fact that you have family here. I know there are people who actually travel, and then there's nobody else. How has that changed the way that you shape yourself? Has that made you grow in any way, or what has that done to you?
So I think I would say it has made me grow in a way, because I mean, obviously back home I was daddy's little girl, I was daddy's princess, and you know, I never really was independent. I never really did anything for myself. So when I moved here and became an international student, it was something that was completely different. It was hard to just, you know, pay your own rent, you know, pay your own expenses, your own clothes and stuff. But I think I would say that it has made me grow. I would definitely say that if I had the chance, I would probably go be an exchange student in a different country as well.
Okay.
If I had the opportunity, yeah. So I think I would say it definitely has made me grow as a person, be more confident in myself, be more cautious about the decisions that I make, the people that I spend my time with, you know, the things that I do, you know, how I spend my time.
Think before you act kind of vibes.
Exactly. Before it was just like, ugh, I feel like I want this, I'm gonna go buy it. But then now it's like, no, remember, if you buy this, you're gonna, you know, have to work out your maths in a certain way so that you don't, you know, miss your rent, your deadline, or, you know, it's, yeah, definitely made me grow, I would say.
All right. So we appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining us here at Global Voices Unplugged. This was the South African edition with Abigail, giving us her own perspective of life as an international student, you know, how she left South Africa and, you know, decided to come to the US, and then now studying in the US, living in the US. However, not dating a white person, and then above all, she's still planning to go to the UK and live in the UK. Maybe mhlawumbe usazo banomlungu, we don't know. But thank you so much for tuning in. We want to urge you guys to please watch the video, share the video, comment on the video, let us know what you think. Comment on the video, and don't forget to share it. Once again, just follow us on all social media pages and tag along, as we're going to be bringing you more exclusive, educative, and fun content about, you know, life as an international student. Once again, I'm your host. I go by the name of Aaron, and this is the Global Voices Unplugged. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.